without him.
Yeah,
It
that's a
is.
pretty one.
We can't start without him. Meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission, and we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Mr. Summer, call the roll, please.
Mr. Benberry?
Here.
Mr. Bradford? Mr. Morrison?
Here.
Mr. Wade?
Here.
Chair Casillas?
Here. Mr. Wade, do you have the Red Fox Trail item of business?
Want to do the minutes first? or-
Oh, sorry, yes. I'm sorry. Mr. Morrison, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I move that the reading of the minutes for October 21st, 2019 be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by the secretary be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Ben Berry. Are there any corrections, changes? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Wade, you have the Red Fox Trail item of business that I was so anxious to get to.
Sure. I'm so happy. I move that this commission remove from the table the table application WAV 2019-134 pertaining to property located at 201 and 217 Red Fox Trail.
Second.
Second by Ben Berry. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Now, this item of business is back on the table. We've had this item of business that we've been holding for several months. So I'm going to ask Mr. Wade to read the original motion, which has already been made and seconded, just so that you'll know what it is.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Logan and Leanne Dykus for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 201 and 217 Red Fox Trail. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be approved. I won't ask.
Tell us a little bit about your development.
This has been on the agenda for some time now. It took a while to get everything in order. It's 2 lots in the Pines. It sits down low, so we're abolishing the line in the middle. And the reason we're doing that is just to give them a little extra space for a larger home. It does sit down low, but the reason it took so long, number one, we had to abolish the line in the middle, which requires all the utility companies to sign off on it. But also the city engineer wanted to put a city engineer's note on there. He put it on there, or we put it on there the way he wanted it. It didn't evidently go along very well with the owners or the bank, so they had to take some time to get together and come up with a wording that appeased both of them. So they've got that now, and we've got all the signatures on it. The city engineer now has signed, as well as all the utility owners. So that's where we're at. But it has taken a while to get to this point.
Sure. And we've been patient.
Thank you.
Are there any questions, comments?
It's not in a flood area. It's just that it was a concern for the city engineer.
Okay. If there are no other comments, questions, call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Morrison, you have another item of business for us to remove from the table.
Yes, ma'am. I move that this commission remove the agenda case APP 2019-199 for the proposed revocation of Plat M1072.
Second.
Second by Wade. We're doing more than just removing this from the table. This had to go before the Urban Renewal Board, and they did not approve the change, and so there is really no business to come before us, so we're actually just getting rid of this particular item of business. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Benberry, you have our first item of new business.
I move this commission table generally case ZOE.
Whoops, wrong one.
No?
I think we're looking for PLT 219-214 Ogilvy Avenue.
Yeah.
There you are.
Move the preliminary subdivision plat for 5180 Ogilvy Avenue be approved and that the matter be continued generally pending submission of a final plat incorporating all requirements made for the applicant at the conclusion of this hearing.
Second.
Second by Wade.
There's been a lot of legwork already done on this preliminary plat. Total of 6 lots. Ogilvy Court will be established as a public way. All the lots will meet the R1 zone requirements. Mr. Mundy can answer any further questions that you may have.
So it would appear that everything in the court is in the flood zone? From the flood zone?
The rear third.
Yeah.
There is a line 377 contour that is in the flood zone.
And the existing duplexes
There
would be
are two
there.
duplexes, yeah. And there were, with the inspection department, the city engineers department, HVAC and electrical equipment had to be raised to a certain elevation. And that was done on that farthest north duplex.
Will the stormwater detention area that's proposed impact those and maybe prevent flooding?
No, not really. The stormwater detention facility, it's already, the road's constructed and the stormwater management facility's in place. I guess this came before this commission back in 2012 as individual. One lot was going to be sold as condominiums, duplex units, but sold as condominiums. The market didn't really
Support that.
support that. So now Ms. Houston is wanting to subdivide and have single-family residents left, basically just on the west side of the road. There'll be 4 lots where new structures can be built. Nothing can be built on the east side of the roadway.
Thank you.
As a note on this waiver as well, the Board of Adjustment did grant variances for the rear, the side, and the front setbacks as well. So those are in place, which would allow these particular lot lines to be established.
I'm missing exactly where the spillway berm is going to be located. Will that be along the property line?
No, the spillway berm is located basically at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Water is ponded in the hatched area, drains
Right.
through a pipe
Right.
through the berm, which is just about at the end of the cul-de-sac. Then the creek, of course, you see the creek center line.
Yes, I see that. I also see a public alley. That's unimproved, is it not?
That's correct, yeah. It's just brush.
That's what I thought. Is there any more comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benberry? Aye. Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Chair Presilius?
Aye. Mr. Wade, you have the James Sanders Boulevard property.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Drury Southwest, Inc. for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 2940 James Sanders Boulevard. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given, and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Morrison.
Well, this is an odd little tract to begin with, and it's kind of confusing. We have two different parties here, Drury Southwest and Drury Development Corp. Essentially, what we're trying to do here is convey some of Drury Southwest property to Drury Development Corp. so they can do a development here. And at that time, when that conveyance happens, we're going to abolish those interior lines and create one larger tract that they're going to be developing on. In addition to that, we're establishing ingress, egress easements and some utility easements to accommodate the future site development on this.
The interior lot lines that you're eventually going to abolish, are those, they're not in this section that you're parceling off, are they?
That's correct. Well, they are the lines on the north in between the Drury Southwest and the Drury Development Corp. So we're establishing a new one down to the south there along that existing private drive. But everything to the north, we will be abolishing and incorporating with that larger Drury tract. Lot number 5002. We would have tried to do it all at the same time, but we have some easements and stuff that are going to have to be put in place when we do the development plan
Right,
for the new utility serving, so.
Questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Morrison, you have the Country Club Lane.
Yes, ma'am. I move that this commission receive and file the application of Chris Jones for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 140 Country Club Lane. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing, the dedication of streets be given, and approval of the submitted plat file dated October 11, 2019 be granted.
Second.
Second by Banbury.
There's an addition proposed on this house that would extend across Lot 15. This would clean up all the interior lines underneath it, plus leave a larger lot for future residential development if they choose to do so. And Mr. Tosh can answer any further questions you may have.
Are they basically wanting to add, did I understand, a garage? They already have a garage, right?
Yeah, I think they're adding on to both garage and to the residence.
And they are not affecting I'm kind of surprised they're not affecting the lot line between 16 and 17 at this time.
No,
But they'll-
it's not getting.
So if they ever want to do that, they'll have to come back.
That's correct. It was discussed with planning office and with the owners about keeping lot 16 and 17 as is for possible future residents. And the owners didn't have a issue with doing that. You know, it didn't affect our plans at this time.
What is 16, would you say, about 60 feet wide?
I couldn't say. I'd have to
It's
say.
narrow for the neighborhood, yeah.
I see a 50 mark down here.
Yeah, it's probably 60, 65 foot width.
So it's going to be a little bit over 50.
It's an existing lot. It's been that way for many
Right,
years.
it was platted that way.
Yeah.
So any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Benberry, you have the Holt Road.
Yes. I move this commission receive and file the application of Independent Bank of Kentucky for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 2711 Holt Road. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Morrison. We have been asked to table this item of business to a future meeting, so we're going to table it to a date certain, which would be our next meeting. Hopefully, we can resolve this by then. So I would need a motion for that, please.
I move that we table this to a date certain.
Second.
Second by Wade. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Wade, you have the Alvin Barkley Drive item of business.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of WKO Holding LLC and Bible Baptist Church of Paducah, Inc. for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 4787 and 4797 Alvin Barkley Drive. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Ben Berry.
The intent of this plat is to move the frontage along Heartland Drive further to the east. Mr. Gardner can answer any further questions y'all may have.
I was out there looking at the property and actually wondered, is this for stormwater detention? Is it, it looks like they've already got the road in, and I didn't think they were going to be building over this lot, but maybe they are.
I think it's just extra ground that the church is willing to give up.
Okay.
They didn't need it. The orthopedic clinic, as you've stated, you've seen a lot of activity out there with construction all summer long. They've made a deal, and they just want the extra ground, but they haven't even conveyed to us if they're going to do anything with it. But it's not for any kind of stormwater detention. That would be out front. They don't really want that.
Okay.
They need to be out back in behind there where it gets lower, where the water actually drains. So, it's 32,647 square feet is what they're going to be purchasing. Heartland didn't really need it, so, they're just willing to give it up to them. I'm
Have
sure they
they,
didn't give it up, but I'm sure
Well,
they conveyed it.
yes. Have they, and I didn't drive back there to see, have they gone ahead and closed that entrance? I know that they're detouring people up to the stoplight.
Yeah, this is now open and this is destroyed.
Okay, that's all gone.
Yeah, they've taken out the original entrance and put in the other.
Is there any more questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Chair Curtis?
Aye. Mr. Benberry, you have our last item of business. 1140 Broadway.
I move this commission table case ZON.
We got to bring it up first.
It isn't. I don't have it.
And I don't either.
I typed this motion.
So I can read it off of that?
Yeah, well, Mr. Durham, your case has been referred to what we call the Kickstart meeting. I don't know if your professional engineer has discussed that with you.
That's what I was afraid
Okay.
of.
We was going to talk with you and your professional representative in what we call a Kickstart meeting, where we have fire prevention, planning, inspections, and everybody all in one room to gauge more what you're wanting to do. That was conveyed to your engineer last week, and we thought that would have been taken care of by now. So we was going to continue this case, or we don't even have to bring it up it has been advertised. That's why it's on the agenda tonight. So we do need to bring it up and table it in order to have that Kickstart meeting, which we anticipate will either be this Wednesday or next Wednesday.
And therefore, we wouldn't have to re-advertise it.
Correct.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. So would you like for me to make that
Speed
motion?
things along, in other words.
Something here really quick.
He doesn't have another item there, does he? Probably not. That's all you've got, is
Yeah, I don't
John's?
have
Okay.
it. All right.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Let's
believe for zoning, not a waiver.
Oops, okay, never mind then.
Second, brought up, this is the second motion to table, John.
Well, he's already got that.
Okay. You want to make this motion?
Okay. I move the case number 2019-222 be denied at this time. Not really sure what we're denying, but
I'm not sure either.
Well, whenever we have a case being brought before you all that staff has recommended denial, we make that
okay.
in the motion to begin with.
Okay, well, I thought you all were having a kickstart meeting about
Right,
this.
table it.
We are, but we have to table it.
We won't deny it and then table it, will we?
We're not going to
No,
deny it.
No,
We're gonna-
that's just to bring it before you all to table.
Right, it needs a second.
Okay. So I'm second to deny it.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
And then you're going to
Now
motion
you
to
read your
table it.
motion.
Okay. I move this commission, do we have to take a vote?
No, oh, no, no.
All right. I move that this commission table case ZON 2019-222 for the purpose of rezoning 1140 Broadway and 1143 Kentucky Avenue.
Second.
Second by Morrison and Wade.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're voting to table. That's what the vote is for. Okay, call the roll, please.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Now we have a presentation tonight on the strategic plan, comprehensive.
to let-
Sorry?
Our survey guys get their signatures.
If you want to, we can.
I don't know how long the presentation.
I don't know how long the presentation is either, to tell you the truth. But they might learn something from it, you know? Wouldn't hurt for them to stay and watch.
Right.
Might want to stay and watch. It's okay. There's
No,
nothing
it's
you
been-
can do about that. Not a single
enjoyed
thing
it.
you can do.
We've all
enjoyed it.
We've all been there.
You want to sign these now?
If you want to, if you need to go, you could
I got
stay.
a long way to drive.
You could, okay, I was going to say, you could stay and watch this comprehensive strategic plan presentation. I wouldn't deny you that. Here, okay.
There's our movie star.
This is the fourth day.
What was you doing?
Huh?
He's on the big.
No, really? You think? You think?
It was you on the big screen, not me. You did a good job.
You sound.
I thought Hank did a really good job.
Yeah, no.
Hank
it's just
did a good
I
job.
trained on day to day, but I have had something.
It's still a lot of information.
I conducted training today, and it was fine when I got here. I won't say fine, but.
I rolled off.
like this. And it just went. You can tell it.
But the thing is, it's a lot of things we've been talking about for a lot of years. We bring them together.
If I had a fever, I wouldn't be here.
I don't want.
So I'm not going to share it. Apparently, I went to nursing home the next day.
Really? Wow. Where's the beard at?
We're getting prepared to go to
That's all I got.
property owner.
When I grow up, I'm going to go
Let
over.
them know. We're going to do all three of them together. We'll wait to send that letter out. Yeah.
Well, we had talked about different things we needed to do. It was like, well, when are we going to do that? Well, now we realize, well, wait, that's being held up by other things that all need to happen. And I'm really happy that they didn't stick Band-Aids on all these other projects.
I'm not a fan. We need to put your kids in California.
And
We need to
Arizona.
go and visit. So, that's even better.
Last year, we were with it. A couple months.
We'll make this fast.
I don't know.
I have a video, but I think I'll skip.
I have considered it.
Other problems.
They're coming here for Thanksgiving.
Oh, boy.
I'm thinking,
Snow bird.
Hurry on home now.
maybe
I'll be doing it. Put it forward.
4 or 5 weeks.
See you, Mike.
Nice.
My son will be sitting there. Okay. Thank you.
84.
It never gets.
Then they're talking about how cold.
Sure you didn't want to hang around for this presentation?
You've made them very happy.
Yeah, no kidding. That'd be nice, huh?
Well, that's pretty rude.
You didn't say.
Yeah, you're overdressed.
It's
true.
Commission here, how we
Oh,
have to, especially so much of my people like project management stuff for software. You know, they try and treat it like a construction project, and it's just not,
Gotcha.
it's not the same. You know,
So nice.
they try and yeah. I'm like,
Hot toddy or something.
everything's a contract
If
amendment.
you were a drinker, you'd forget about all that.
That's some hot cider.
Be a good excuse.
Okay. You wanna go? Wanna kick off? Whatever.
We have tried repeatedly to come before you, and it seems like inevitably something always got in the way. And so unfortunately, as luck would have it, your longest agenda is where it all seems to come together at. But today we want to go over the comprehensive strategic plan, explain how it all fits together, and some of the things that the planning department is doing and will be doing, and so you have a better idea of what's going on in our part of the world. And to do that, most eloquently, is Assistant City Manager Michelle Smolin. And she's got this shtick down, I must say. She's all about the strategic plan, and she keeps us all in line to get our reports in and everything like that. So she's the queen of the strategic plan. So I'll let her do her thing.
That's very nice. Well, thank you, Planning Commission, for having me this evening. Very happy to be here and talk about, as the Planning Director mentioned, our strategic plan, which you all have books in front of you. And I'll walk through a little bit about what's in it. And as she mentioned, we'll get into some of the items that are in it. So first of all, we always like to start off with recognizing our Board of Commissioners. Our Assistant City Clerk went back and learned that they are the 42nd Board of Commissioners, and this is really their strategic plan. This is the direction they've given staff on what they'd like for us to accomplish. So, of course, we have Commissioner Wilson, Watkins, McElroy, and Abraham, and we have Mayor Harless in the middle. So, you know, this slide about a strategic plan, you all probably know very well. What is a strategic plan? Well, really what it is for us is it's our action plan. So this is what the commissioners tell us is their priority, and we align resources, staff work, our budget, all types of things to it. What it isn't, it really isn't a plan on the shelf. It isn't a wish list of things we want to get done. We make sure that we live this every day. And I really like the last bullet about it being an exclusive club. You'll see we have over 60 action items, and there's really something for everyone. So we really encourage the community to get involved and try and interact with people in different ways. So this is our strategic cycle. First of all, starting out at the top, we have our vision, mission, and values. The vision, mission, and values really drive everything that we do. So you'll hear, you know, the best city in the world is our mission. We have 6 organizational values, and everything that we do starts with that. We see, does it align with our vision, mission, and values? In January and February, we have a Board of Commissioners retreat, and this is where the commission actually tells us, this is what we want you to achieve, these are the priorities, this is who we want to do it, that type of thing. So after we have that retreat with them, we actually take it before the Board of Commissioners to formally adopt the strategic plan, and that typically happens March, April, and then we're kind of off and running. So then we're actually implementing. We're working on the budget. We're getting the work done. You'll see I'll go through it in a little bit, but we actually take each of those action items and assign a staff member to it, and we give a timeline. So it's a real working document. that we take very seriously. As Tamara mentioned, we do monthly reporting, so we have what are called WIN initiatives. They're what's important now, and those are the 15 priorities that the commission has said, if you do nothing else, we want to see this done. So we report monthly on those, and then we have twice a year in July and January, we have a scorecard where we give a whole report on all 69 items. And then it starts all over. So we're actually gearing up. We've been emailing with the Board of Commissioners to try and set our January date. So we're getting ready to do it all over again. So this is a look at how to use our strategic plan. We have 4 key vision areas. They're our growth, our community, our engagement, and our culture, and everything we do filters up into these buckets. And this is really a way that we can communicate what's in the strategic plan, because there is, unfortunately, we try and cut it out, but there's a lot of jargon. It's a lot of specific to city government. So this is a way to make it more approachable and help people engage with it on a level that isn't just necessarily city services. In your booklet, you'll see with the 69 objectives, this is just how to read it. So you'll have the objective, that's what we want to do, the priority level, the timeline, and then the outcome. So we're working towards making our outcomes more measurable. That's a culture change and a long-term goal, but you'll see we're trying to get at what we want to do and what outcome are we looking for. And this is also available on the website as well. So this is a look at what is actually in it. In our growth, we have 20 objectives, and that has 2 key performance areas, and we'll get into those a little bit more. Our community has 30 objectives, and that has 3. That's a big one. That encompasses public safety, recreation, neighborhoods. That's a big chunk of it. Our engagement has 5 objectives. I say it's tiny but mighty because that's where all of our customer experience work is, and we've put a lot of city resources into that. And then our culture has diversity and creative industry initiatives. So this is just a little bit deeper dive. This is very high level, but let us know if you have questions. We're just, there's a lot out there, so we're seeing what you're interested in. In the Our Growth key vision area, we have empowering upward economic mobility. That's a lot of the economic development type of things that you'll see the city doing. So one good example of that is the business development specialist position that we just created and hired. That's actually a new initiative that grew out of the economic development objectives we're trying to achieve. So that's a lot of the business retention and growth, a lot of the TIF district work that's being done. That all relates to the economic development items. And then we have maintain thoughtful and modern infrastructure. That has, bike lanes, sidewalks, streets. There's some Wi-Fi. That's part of the modern piece, is what is our technological infrastructure. And then you'll see the planning department has added how many objectives they have under this. So given that you're the planning commission, that's really where we wanted to dive in. So on economic mobility, we have zoning regulations, occupancy in all downtown buildings, and then continue developing the riverfront from the Carson Center to the Convention Center. And so I definitely don't want to steal their thunder, but there is a lot of work being done with the TIF district, the build grant we applied for. There's a lot of work going in on these. On the maintaining thoughtful modern infrastructure, where a lot of the planning department's responsibilities lies are in the bike lanes and the bike paths. So there's the Greenway Trail work that's being done. You saw the bike lanes open up over on the state route recently, and there's some more things happening internally. Additionally, they have the energy efficiency within city-owned and operated facilities and streetlights, and that one is a lower priority. You'll see some of these you hear about more. There's only really so much we can do in a day, so some of them are lower and medium priorities, and we make less progress than the other one, so that's a little bit slower moving one. In our community, we have neighborhoods, public safety, and recreation. Neighborhoods is obviously a big objective for planning. They have a majority of the initiatives. Public safety really focuses around 911. You'll see this will be before the commissioners and the fiscal court. We have some 911 infrastructure that we need to upgrade, so you'll be hearing more about that in the future. And then recreation, a lot of that you've seen the work on the aquatic center and the sports fields with the county sports commission. Those are the type of objectives that are coming out of the recreation strategic plan. So as I mentioned, this neighborhood is a big item for planning, and we recently finished our recruitment for a neighborhood planner. So I would anticipate that we'll start to see some more items coming out of this, but there's housing. You know, the mayor completed her neighborhood walk, so the neighborhood planner, Melanie Reason, is putting together reports on those neighborhoods, and we're coming up with action items and what are some strategic plan for each of those neighborhoods of things they can do and the city can help them do, and how can we empower them. And if you want to jump in. Again, more about neighborhoods, tree species. The tree species and the healthy foods, these are the lower priorities that are the nice to have, still important, but not as important as the higher the win initiatives. On recreation, we have plan and design and construct recreational trail near residential neighborhoods. So far, a lot of this work has been done in the Greenway Trail, but there's more work being done about how can we connect that and connect neighborhoods. Open, smart, and engaged government. Planning doesn't have any of these. A lot of this is around the customer experience. So last time I was here, I talked about that app that we're working on, the Kickstart meetings. This is where all of those objectives lie. So I say it's tiny but mighty because it's a really significant priority, but very clear on what they want us to focus on. So within the art, culture, performance area, we have creative industries and celebrate a diverse community. Creative industries is really about arts and entrepreneurship, and diverse community, what's really neat that's coming out of there is we have a new festival we're working on. We're looking for a multicultural type festival that is very inclusive and engaging, and Molly Tomasello Johnson is working on a kite festival that would be a new addition for our community. And you may have seen we do a lot on Facebook or Twitter that shows what we're working on and what's happening. This was one that recently came out. So if you follow us on Facebook, you'll get a lot more updates on these. So within creative industries, one objective is to recruit and create a creative cultural council, and then looking at public art and community gateways. So there's some money in the budget for some different things this year, and then we'll continue to fund different community gateways as we move through the budgets. Is there anything you want to add? No. So that's a very high-level overview of what's in the strategic plan and what the planning items are. Paducah.us, I had this card that I give. We've been handing these out. It has the website, and that's where you can actually go on and see our monthly updates, because we post monthly updates with indicators of what's happening. That this is kind of a high-level summary of the WIN initiatives and where they are and what's happening, and that's all available on that website. So you can go there and see the ones you're really interested in and really dig in. There's a lot of really great work going on, and we're starting to see kind of some really neat projects come to fruition because of this strategic plan and the alignment we have from the commissioners telling staff go do this. So it's been a very effective tool for us. Okay.
Yes, and I would like to just to interject. You know, now that the planning department is 85% staffed, we still have one vacancy, but we're not going to let that hold us back. What you're going to start seeing over the course of the next few months, first of all, since the neighborhood walks have finished, you'll be seeing my bright and smiley face here at your meetings consistently. And the other thing is we are going to be start the arduous process of updating the zoning regulations and your bylaws and rules. And so I just want to foreshadow that hang on, because it's going to get to be fun and exciting and very busy. And it's something I've been waiting not so patiently for, because this is like one of my favorite things to do. That's right. So we're going to have some fun. In addition, we are going to continue on the effort to revitalize and redevelop our riverfront. We've got so many things. We are literally throwing everything at it. We've got the build grant that's still in play, and hopefully we're going to get some good news in a couple weeks. Mark November 12th on your calendar. It's going to be either a very happy day or a very dark day, because that's when we find out about that. We already have the TIF in play, and we're working through the city block project, whatever that may be. And then We also have the opportunity zones, which next week I'll be here to tell you about those. And then finally, what's going before the commission next week is a request to authorize a brownfield application to do an assessment of primarily the sites within the opportunity zone, but some strategic other sites there for brownfield assessment, remediation, and cleanup. So hopefully we can get some of the work done at the Columbia Theater that the community has been chomping at the bit to have done. So those are some of the things that we're doing to execute on this strategic plan that you are going to be having a significant impact in very shortly. And then also, one thing that's not specifically in the strategic plan, but is part of the implication, is soon we're going to have to start thinking about how we want to handle the comprehensive plan update. We'll be talking about that in terms of how we want to approach it later in 2020. So stay tuned. Good times ahead. Do you have any questions?
I mean,
Good.
these are a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to absorb. It is totally a lot to absorb. Study it.
When you have you have when on there.
Yep.
When is what's important now, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm really thrilled to see to promote occupancy in all downtown buildings. That's something I think that everybody wants to see.
Yeah. And just for the record, I would like to put out there that planning does have the most objectives.
Yes.
I'm sure.
And we've already given away
That's why
several
you
to
plan.
customer experience, and we still have the most objectives.
Yes.
So we've got plates spinning everywhere.
That's right.
Never a dull moment.
We talked about the designated, what I like to call champion on staff for different projects. Is there a listing of who those contact people would be if something comes up?
Thanks.
Yeah, yes, there is. To make it more digestible, we took some of that out of the book. But if you go online, we have a
And I know that's a
scorecard.
dynamic thing, people
Yeah, sure, that's
come and
right.
go, so yeah.
That's right.
So that is available on the website.
Yep, on our, the mid-year report is where we have I think, if not, just shoot me an email, and we have, a lot of internal working documents and public documents, so I believe it's available on our monthly scorecard.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the partners that are not listed.
I think that's what we took off,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Yep. But I think that's one of the keys that makes this a real living document, is that we assign people to it. And actually, the city manager has gone as far as the progress made on these is actually included on our annual performance report. So we're evaluated as staff based on how we're completing the Board of Commissioners' priorities. And so I think that's been a real key to making it live. Yeah.
Are the monthly updates online?
Yes. Yeah. And usually our PIO, Public Information Officer, Pam Spencer, also sends out something on Facebook that it's available and a high-level indicator of where we are. So we try and push out as much information as we can. It's available two ways, actually. You can look on the main. I did have, I'll pull this up real quick. It'll be quick. Here we go. This is the website. And if I scroll down.
Okay, the main website is
Yes.
Paducah.us.
Paducah.us. Okay.
And you can, Google that, type it in. It's also linked on our city website to come to this page. But if you scroll down, we have our WIN initiative updates and then the mid-year update. We also have, let's say you're interested in one particular objective, like the indoor aquatic center, you can, this is kind of the roundabout way, but there are also updates on each of the items within the page 2 for the WIN initiative, so you can actually see what the project plan is and where they are. So we try and make it available a number of ways, and so that you can go in and look at the one you're interested in. Because I think that's where we found most people get engaged. It's too much to communicate as a whole, and not everybody's interested in everything. They're interested in one specific
They wanna drill
objective or
down to
area.
that, yeah.
That's right, like the aquatic center or neighborhoods, or so. We've tried to break it out and make it as easy as possible. Go here real quick.
Hopefully you're tracking that
There's the scorecard.
analytics to see what people are going to look at.
Yep.
Well, that was a question I had about
Uh-huh.
Facebook. Is it a separate
Oh.
Our Paducah Facebook page?
That's a great question. No, it's the City of Paducah, Kentucky. What you'll see, that's a great question. What you'll see is we put the icons on the post if it's related to the strategic plan.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and we are tracking analytics. We have monthly meetings where we look at where people are going to, and then is it organic or is it because we're driving there? Because on Facebook, we'll say, look at this with the link, so we can typically see, if they're correlated. But it's been really interesting to see a lot of recreation interest right now. People are really interested in what we find a big correlation with what we push out so far, that people go look. They might not know what's happening otherwise.
What about the city app?
I thought you all might bring that up. We actually did a Citizens Academy focus group a week and a half ago and got some really great feedback. So we have one support ticket we're working out on the email side. So that's in progress. That's probably the item that people get most excited about is the app.
Of course.
That's right.
I didn't know we had an app.
There's an app, well, it's not there yet.
It's not there yet.
Okay.
That's
It
right.
will
There's
be.
an app for that, or
That's
there will
right.
be.
There will be an app for that.
That's right.
And you thought it would be by the end of the year, I think.
Yeah. Yep. The city manager, it's an important priority for the commission and the city manager. So I think we got really good feedback. And so I think once we get the support ticket work out, we're ready to start rolling it out in strategic ways, because we got to be, we want to make sure that we set expectations appropriately, as our planning director will tell you. So we're just figuring out how to roll it out to the public pretty much after that support ticket. It's exciting.
I see here in recreation, which has been a very hot topic, to design and construct a sportsplex and recreation aquatic facility. How's that been going with the county as far as working together, or are you really working towards one individually?
That's a
for the
great
city?
question. It's been a wonderful collaboration. Actually, they just interviewed the firms that responded to the RFQ, and that was a joint city-county effort. So it's been a great collaboration, I think, moving towards that sportsplex that the Sports Commission is working on. The city has really taken on the indoor aquatic center, and we have been working with a design firm to nail down what that design looks like, and hopefully starting construction next August, September. Yeah.
We'll have a lot more questions.
That's
I'm
fine.
sure,
No,
but
you've done great.
It's a lot to do.
It's a lot to absorb.
Yes, but it's good. It's good to have it, all in one form like this, where you can go through point by point
Yeah.
and think about where we're going and what we're doing, and then review too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
Great believer in accountability.
Our city manager is as well. That's one of the things he really.
Assistant city manager. Where's my report?
Oh.
She keeps us honest.
That's right.
That's right.
And we have city manager's office, I will be fair, has some red initiatives. We're very honest about the progress we're
Yes.
making. It's
Yes, I've got a big.
we don't sugarcoat it.
No, you can't change it
I got a
overnight.
big red block on my new zoning regulations. We're totally honest because, that's important. It's important to be forthright with you all as well as the citizens. And if anything, the red should be a signal of, we need help or maybe better ideas on how to approach it. Who knows? But
Well,
good.
I think it was said, to begin is the most important part.
That's right.
I mean, if you, this is certainly a good framework for
Yeah.
doing everything that you want to do, and that's great. Yes, I don't know that we've had that before.
It's been a great kind of guidepost for us.
You know, it's really great is the way you've set this up, that
Thanks.
literally we could change as we grow and change, objectives change.
Yeah.
The whole system and process still works.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
This won't change, like, this is next year. Will this completely change? Or we're gonna build off of this?
We'll find out in January, February, but I don't anticipate a huge, because we have the retreat and we want to give the commission that opportunity to say, is this still what's most important to you?
Well,
Or do we need to realign resources?
As
But
you complete tasks.
that's right.
Those other ones may or may not roll up.
That's exactly right. This last, the city manager had a retreat with the commission when he first came in August, and then he had another one in January, and we combined some, because it sounds good on paper, but then sometimes we get working, and it needs to be tweaked a little bit, or the outcome needs to be worked on, or we need to combine. So we do want to leave the commissioners flexibility every year to say,
That's what I was thinking, leadership change. Put that over here, it's dynamic.
it's dynamic.
I would hate to see it go away, because
it's a great tool.
it's a living document.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a hard copy in front of us, but really, that's the document, because that can change. It can, priorities can change, things can shift.
That's right, absolutely.
And that's fine. That's what you should do.
That's right. I mean, as staff, we serve the Board of Commissioners, so whatever their priorities are is what we will implement. Thank you all. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you.
It's a great questions.
Go to that website, and I think I need to prioritize your page on my Facebook page.
Oh, I love it.
Because I'm not getting those, but then
Oh,
I have, a lot of things that I get on my Facebook page. And I would really like to see that,
Yeah.
To make that a priority, so.
Yep. Our PIO does a great job. We have campaigns we call them campaigns, but these are the items we're going to focus on because they have significant amount of work going on right now. Like this item's really heating up, so how can we share? Like we're focusing on the aquatic center and then our economic development efforts this month. So you'll see a lot of information pushed out about those two things.
Questions, comments? Thank you all so
Thank you.
much for being
Thanks.
here.
Appreciate it.
I mean, it's fascinating. I'm going to go home and read things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. The majority.
We're adjourned. She need to hit that or anything?
I think we were adjourned after the other.
Well, he just heard that we adjourned, so there you go. You had him on autopilot.